So, good morning, David.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for taking the time to talk with me and the students at DynaSpeak online. So, I'm going to talk firstly about aspects of academic study. This is for the level 3 students on our programme. So, shall we begin?
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's go.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. So, first topic: plagiarism.
Yep.
What is it?
Okay. Well, I think there's two ways of thinking about plagiarism, and plagiarism is about claiming that something is your own work when it's somebody else's. I think that's a tidy way of thinking about it. But I think it appears in two forms. At least I see it in two forms. One would be the most common, which is unintentional plagiarism. So people they're not planning to cheat. They don't mean to, but they don't understand the rules around plagiarism. And the second would be intentional plagiarism. So, as I've said, so plagiarism is claiming that something is your work which isn't. And sometimes that happens because people have read something, they're feeling a bit under pressure, they're trying to meet a deadline. It's work that is quite hard for them to understand, and they end up using an idea or words which aren't their own, and that then goes into an essay or an assignment, when actually it's not their own. And so all they need to do to sort that out is to, if they're using somebody else's words, is to actually use quotation marks and say whose work it is, and to reference it really clearly. Or if it's somebody else's idea, so for instance, if they've read something in a paper by Smith, they write the idea down using their own words, and then in brackets at the end they'll put the name of the person and the date, and in their reference list they'll reference a paper.
Yeah.
And as somebody who marks essays and academic assignments, that means that so not only is it not cheating, but I'm actually impressed that I can see how they're using that idea.
Yes.
So it's about making sure you reference everything, and I would say for people who are getting used to it, if you're not sure, be cautious, err on the side of caution, and always talk to your tutor or your lecturer and get advice. But because the consequences of getting this wrong are very, very high. So be very, very careful.
Yeah.
So reference everything, and for people who, it's a tiny number of people who would choose to cheat and to plagiarise, and it's actually now a lot. Most assignments are run through things like Safe Assign. There's software that would pick up plagiarism very easily.
Yeah.
And so for anybody who was writing an essay, they would need to know that if they're using somebody else's work, whether it's another student's work or whether it's something that they found on the internet, the likelihood of it being picked up is very, very high. And so routinely universities would run things like applications to do a PhD or a master's. They might run those sorts of applications through Safe Assign or something like that. Also, students' essays would be run through.
Okay. Yeah, because I know from personal experience there are loads of documentation in the enrolment resources. It's all online. The importance of being aware of plagiarism or plagiarizing. And if I'm not mistaken, when every assignment is presented, there is again a reference, to caution about it. So it's
and it's just.
But it's actually well documented.
It's very well documented, and for me, as when I mark assignments, it's really, really important that we give credit to people who've done the work, and we don't give credit to people who haven't. But I think that it's important to be really well organised,
Yeah.
because so I talked about unintentional plagiarism. So there's people who don't know the rules, but there's also people sometimes getting a bit of a mess. So they're writing a big assignment, they've got books everywhere, papers everywhere, and they will write some notes down and then come back to their notes and forget that actually they've copied a quote down verbatim.
Yes. And if you're not making, and I know from personal experience,
Yeah.
if you don't make that note at the time that you have identified that source, you either have to scrap it or just laboriously try and track it down again, and it's time consuming, and you can't just trust Google.
No, that's right.
So Google doesn't always get it right.
So be careful, be organised, know the rules,
Yeah.
and if in doubt, ask.
Yes.
And your tutors and your lecturers will be able to help you.
Thanks for that, David.